Boy, what a shame that the last Fox X-Men movie has to be Dark Phoenix. Let's review this piece of crap. Dark Phoenix stars Sophie Turner, Michael Fassbender, Nicholas Hoult, Jennifer Lawrence, and is directed by Simon Kinberg. What's up, guys? It's time to review another comic book movie. This is one of the Fox X-Men movies. And the interesting thing about these Fox X-Men movies is they're really hit and miss. Like, you have some amazing ones like X2, like Days of Future Past. And then, you know, almost like right after, they'll come up with like The Last Stand. And it's definitely a head scratcher of a franchise. You know, it's all over the place. And that's kind of a shame too, because there's so many of these movies out there right now, and it's just just a mixed bag. And I wish it was just one big story that, like, they add a little bit to it every time and it gets better and better and better. But no, it's just, it seesaws constantly. Dark Phoenix is an interesting one because this is a movie that I believe was in the can for a couple years now, actually. And they did reshoots and all kinds of stuff. And I think they were just freaking out because, you know, New Mutants was supposed to come out. I remember seeing the trailers for that movie in theaters last year. And then they scrapped it. And I'm wondering if they almost even scrapped this. They might have. But they should have, because this was crap. And it's sad that this is the last Fox X-Men movie. And first off, it's really just a moot movie. It doesn't really need to exist. We already know that the X-Men are now property of the MCU. And it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do with the X-Men, actually. But this movie doesn't even need to exist, you know? So they could have come up with just like a final conclusion to the whole story and went for broke. But yeah, unfortunately, this is just really bad. Quick plot synopsis. Now, this is the story of Dark Phoenix. And they do... now, I haven't read the comics, but I've heard that they use a lot of the similar beats to the comics, but this doesn't like scratch the surface to how great the comics is. I've heard like the comic series for Dark Phoenix is one of the best comic lines out there. But I will say that opening scene is pretty good with the car wreck, and we see Jean Grey's parents get killed. And you know, it's a devastating scene, actually. You know, if a car wreck is filmed in the right way, it can be pretty earth-shattering. And it was a good opener for the movie. It gave me a little bit of hope for it, but then almost immediately after, the movie dies. And let me tell you why the movie dies. The big reason, I think, is because there isn't a single actor in this movie that isn't really phoning it in. And phoning it in for, say, Michael Fassbender is still a great performance, but he's like Michael Fassbender at 5 instead of Michael Fassbender at 10. That's really what all the actors are giving in this movie. And I think by this point, maybe they're just tired of doing the work. Jennifer Lawrence, especially, is just so bland in this. You could tell that she doesn't give a crap about X-Men anymore. And, you know, I could go down every single actor in this movie and I would pretty much be telling you the same exact thing. It just, nobody really stands out at all. And then, to jump over to the story itself, this is a story that's already been told on screen with The Last Stand, you know, in one way or another. And honestly, I think The Last Stand's even better than this. This doesn't have any soul to it. It's just very bland all the way through. The whole movie feels kind of phoned in. There's a couple of nice action sequences here and there. But overall, I just couldn't care about what was going on. And it was just sad to watch this last movie just go out with a whimper. Because that's really what it is. This movie is just such a whimper. Sophie Turner, I think she gives it her all, but nothing special. And now I will say, Evan Peters as Quicksilver, every movie that he's been in, he has pretty much stole the show. Not in this one. They don't really utilize him that well at all in this. And I was hoping for some fun Quicksilver action in this, but there's that one little scene that you see in the trailer, but that's about it. So guys, I really don't even want to waste your time on this review. It's just not a good movie at all. And I'm definitely going to give it a solid 2 hours lost. One of the worst of the year by far. You know, I don't think I had any pros for this review for the most part. You know, it's a comic book movie. It's shot well. It looks pretty. The director is pretty new, I think, as far as being in the director's chair. And that shows. And I think they just didn't know what they wanted to do with this movie. And I think that's why they had so many reshoots. They weren't sure of themselves when they put it out there. And I think that's a big thing too. If you're constantly going back and forth with putting a property out, that's just showing that you don't believe in your property. And people are going to go into the theater with that mindset. You know, it's already going to hurt it from the get. So I think from a marketing standpoint, they really screwed the pooch with this movie. So anyway, guys, that's my review for Dark Phoenix. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Did any of you like this movie? I'm sure some of you did. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day, and on Fridays, we do Free For All Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.